Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for coming back to the AKIRA chapter review series. Real quick, forgot to mention in the last chapter, Kaneda has Tetsuo tell us and the gang that the 2020 Olympics would be held in Tokyo, which seems important since it was like a whole thing. Okay, anyway, thanks for coming back, or thanks for joining in. If this is your first video with me, please go back and watch the first chapter, as you may get a little lost. The last chapter covered pages 1 through 29, so go ahead, I'll wait. Okay, now that we've got everyone caught up, before we get into the meat and potatoes of the chapter, I want to say that I'm a member of the Alphabet Gang, and so it may skew a bit of my interpretation, perception for some of the visuals / literary elements of this chapter. Basically, Neo Tokyo sounds like it's lit, or at least progressive, which is chill. Okay, without further ado, Sparkable, sit back, and let's dive into chapter 2, pages 30 through 52. Okay, this chapter starts with a panel depicting the front of the vocational school that Kaneda and crew attend. A vocational school, for those who don't know, here in the US, it's like a high school designed to teach a specific trade or skill, and in Japan, based off of what little research I did, doesn't appear to be much different, except that it doesn't seem to be really necessary, whereas here we tend to have a heavy focus on graduating high school. We then get a shot of graffiti on the wall that reads 8th District Prison, with an arrow pointing to the school. Kind of reminds me of being in high school and hearing all the rumors and theories about how the school actually was a prison or built just like a prison. It's pretty typical high school mentality. Also, sitting right next to the graffiti, there's this grizzled and roughed up looking dude with bags under his eyes and major bedhead, looking hella rough. Next, we're in the principal's office, and he's going on about how the kids are ruining their lives, and we can clearly tell Kaneda and gang do not care. Like, come on, man, they're kids. I remember plenty of times where I trespassed, and I turned out fine. Mostly. We get some snarky remarks from the gang, further highlighting their I don't care attitude. And so the principal calls in the PE teacher, and this dude walks in and beats the snot out of these 15-year-olds. And then we get a hilarious panel of my guy swiping his hair back and smiling. The art style for this was just very comical, very hilarious, and honestly, this PE teacher has too much style to be working at this school. Just my opinion. Kaneda and crew head down the hall while cursing about what just happened, and we get more world building. The school has trash, graffiti, stains all along the walls. Kaneda, our fearless leader, reassures everyone that they won't go to jail, and they walk past a sign that says "Queers Wanted." This threw me off. I mean, from what I know about Japan, again, I'm no scholar, but I didn't think they were as progressive when it came to the LGBTQ plus community, especially not back in the 80s, so this definitely seemed a little off. Maybe Katsuhiro was a visionary and maybe an ally, or it could be a jab at the community, as this is a dystopia, and the world building up to this point all points to this being a relatively run-down future, as a dystopia. It's possible Katsuhiro was using this as another tool to emphasize that point. Also, I could be reaching, and Katsuhiro could have just been guessing at what may happen in the future without any sort of judgment. I didn't really research this part, but definitely gonna take a look into it after this video, because I'm super curious. Anyway, the gang decides to go to their hangout and try to figure out where Tetsuo went. Next page, and we get into some spy shit. There's a beautiful panel of a skyscraper, more cyberpunk future architecture, and we get lightly introduced to our next new character doing something shady, and then we're back to Kaneda popping pillies, don't do drugs, as he walks into the Harukiya bar. Also, sorry ladies, but there's no bathroom for y'all here. We finally get to see what Harukiya looks like. Kinda seems like a bar / club. The gang all take capsules, again, don't do drugs or give in to peer pressure bad, drugs bad, and they start discussing Tetsuo. It's odd because neither the police or even Tetsuo's mother know where Tetsuo is. We then get more LGBTQ bait as handsome Ryu walks into the bar, drawing the attention of Kaneda and crew. They ask the bartender if he knows Ryu, and the bartender jokes about Ryu being Kaneda's type, and maybe he should go talk to him. Then slam! Mystery Lady walks in to meet with Daddy Ryu. Kaneda tries to start shit because Kei, our Mystery Lady, is a pretty lady. But Ryu shows him who's boss, and Pretty Lady and Daddy bolt, leaving Kaneda in the dust. But our hero Kaneda is a tough guy, and he gives chase immediately, because he's not going to let anybody show him up. Kei runs into Creature Boy 26, who is watching TV, and Ryu gets spotted by Kaneda and crew. This whole sequence is moving really quick, so sorry, just try to keep up. Not a lot happening, just a lot of action. Ryu seems to escape the gang, but leads them to 26. This draws the attention of Kaneda as he recognizes him and as the kid who put his buddy in the hospital. And tough guy Kaneda doesn't seem to care how old you are, everyone's fair game. Him and his crew start to circle 26, but suddenly the glass cracks behind 26 right before blowing out, causing the gang to duck and cover. Pretty Lady Kei yells at Kaneda to run because this pulse of energy or force coming from 26 travels up the building to a water tower, which starts to crash down towards Kaneda and crew. Actually, I'll be honest, I'm not sure if it's a water tower because it ends up causing a massive explosion, which ignites, of course, a fire. And that is the end of this chapter. We get an explosion and boom, it's done. Okay, so first thoughts, I guess this whole series, or at least this volume, was pretty fast-paced. This is the equivalent of like the first half of the movie Akira, or like at least the first quarter, if I'm remembering things right. And we're not even a quarter of the way through the first volume, and there's 6 volumes. I know the movie was put out before the last volume, if I'm remembering correctly. Again, oh man, I really should have. I really should have looked things up before starting this. But you know, just gotta keep it going, keep that energy going. But yeah, this chapter gets a 4 out of 10 capsules for me. It's heavily implied that 26 caused the explosion. I mean, he's psychic, that's obvious, and it's clearly a breach of reality, like people can't move things with their minds, unfortunately. Anywho, and I'm really curious as to why 26 is so wrinkly. I don't remember that being discussed in the movie at all. I really hope that gets brought up in this volume, or at least the next volume, or just in the series in general. I just really want to know, and I kind of hope things start to slow down. Again, there's 6 volumes. So there's a lot of room to explore and explain how these psychic abilities work in the universe of Akira. However, this explosion can, in the world of Akira and to Kaneda and crew, be easily explained as just a freak accident. And I'm kind of curious if Harakiya is a gay club, because there's no women's restroom. It just seems kind of odd. I also want to know if Katsuhiro is an ally, so I'm going to look that up, hopefully before I record chapter 3, so I can give you guys a little update. But yeah, this chapter was more world building and action driven than it was really thought provoking, again, hence the 4 out of 10 capsules. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to tap the like, sub, and noti bell so you don't miss another chapter, because at this point, you've got to know how the story turns out. Also, share with your friends and leave a comment about your thoughts / rating for the chapter. But yeah, guys, I'm out. I'm gonna go gobble down a bowl of cereal. Peace.